Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope everybody is having a very good, safe season. I hope everyone is vaccinated and we can all start getting on with our lives and being able to be around people and be comfortable with each other again instead of hiding in corners the way these open mics have been taken over because we cannot go and be with each other anymore. I am reading poetry in honor of the Poetry Open Mic feature reading space by Tom Woodruff, Australian-born Austin, Texas transplant who runs a First Wednesdays feature called Community Poetry. And I would always read material from New Scratch Publications books. So in honor of that, in honor of Tom, and in honor of being able to share poetry with each other, this poet is here to share poetry with you guys. I'm going to read to you a few poems, a lot of them periodic table ones. We'll see how that goes. From the Down in the Dirt, May to August 2021 issue collection book that is titled Lockdown's Over. Which is something we could all just hope and pray for, because if we take care of ourselves, maybe lockdown will be over and we could get on with our lives again. Although we always have to remember, well, what exactly is life like now? Everything has changed for everything. I've even got my huge Santa hat. I think it's going to drown me and I'm going to not be able to read. It's so huge. But we're going to see how this goes, and I hope you enjoy this. Somebody submits periodic table stories, and in light of that, we put the counterpart stories poems for our column. This one is a Twitter-length poem titled Gallium Anticipation. It melts in your mouth and not in your hands. For at 30 degrees C, everything is held in peril. Lick it. First, tasteless, but astringent, then metallic, tasting, well, I don't know, but lasting for a few hours. And it contracts as it melts, floating on its own liquid. Want to see it? Isn't anticipation the best part? Try to cram things into a Twitter-length poem. And if you want a fuller one, this is actually the poem titled Gallium. Isn't the moment of expectation almost the best part? How it melts in your mouth and not in your hands? Or is it the most heart-wrenching part? When you think everything is over, you see that at 30 degrees C, everything melts away. And you think you shouldn't be doing this, that this can't be happening. But on a hot day, everything is held in peril. Because as I said, everything can melt away. Yeah, I know how they say it melts in your mouth and not in your hands, but after a lick, it doesn't have much of a taste. It's a bit astringent, it has a metallic taste, but it lasts for a few hours. But as I said, it melts in your mouth and not in your hands, but no one ever knows what it tastes like when it's molten. But still, with a low melting point and a high boiling point and no toxic vapor, it contracts as it melts, much like water. It actually floats on its own liquid. You want to see it floating away on itself like that? You want to see what you think are the laws of nature being broken? So you wait for that moment of expectation to see that moment of change and wonder, is that almost the best part? Okay, additional periodic table poems for you in this book will be Twitter length, so it'll be short. Brace yourself. This next one in the book, written for the short story for Nickel. This is Nickel the Demon. In the Ore Mountains, miners searched for copper and found a reddish substance we call nickel arsenide. They thought they found copper, but couldn't extract it from its ore, calling it Kupfernickel. Kupfer is copper, nickel is demon. The demon was only extracted a century later. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm going to share with you periodic table poem, and then poem, and then periodic table poem, and then poem. We'll see how that goes, and we'll see how this reading goes for you guys. I hope you guys like this one. This poem was titled Hydrogen Cyanide Escape. This is a bonus for the periodic tables because it's hydrogen cyanide. Sometimes you get isotopes in this listing, so why not? We're living dangerously here. Hydrogen Cyanide Escape. His SS radio job broadcasted Berlin Nazi propaganda. When sent to Dachau, he saw the showers, heard the screams. He saw his wife house cleaning with the drug he saw killing thousands. After that, they had to leave. Now, as I said, we go from periodic table poem to poem. This is a short one. Hope you guys enjoy it. And this is called Do the Dead Still Live? I woke from a dream last night where a man I once dated who died was still alive in my dream. And another man from my past was there too. And when I woke up from this dream in the middle of the night, I thought that I needed to remember this and write it. And then I went back to sleep. I started dreaming again, and when I dreamed again, this time, someone asked me why I didn't write my dream down. I answered them with, who wants to hear a dream where a man I once dated who died is alive in my dream and still professes their love to me? I mean, who wants to hear about that? That's what I said, but then I turned around and my mom was there, still alive. And I said, hi, Mom. And then I woke up. I told a poet friend about these dreams today, and they asked if this happens to me often, if the dead come back to me in dreams like this. I told them, no. And then that is when my poet friend said that, well, they say the dead are not still living. I know exactly what he meant. Which is very true. And that poet friend is the man that ran this poetry overnight that I can't attend to, and had this shirt, this poet shirt, which I have a poet shirt because of this guy as well. So 2 reasons to give props to Tom Woodruff, who is running this open mic. I wish we could still do it right now. But in honor of that, I'm going to read to you a periodic table poem and then why not another dreams poem? Why not? This one is a periodic table poem called Carbon-Based Life Forms. And if they happen to have an image, because they're short enough, and they'll be released with Twitter and Instagram and Tumblr and Facebook and such, will belong in the book as well. I do not know if I can include it accurately for people to see. It's kind of hard to see here. I'm trying to show it to you up close and personal. But if you want to see it, you can go to scars.tv, look it up in this book, Lockdown's Over, or do a search for the word carbon-based life forms and see if you can find that Twitter-length poem, because then you'll find links to this picture in colored, huge and gorgeous and blah, blah, blah. This is titled Carbon-Based Life Forms. I think of us carbon-based life forms, Mother Teresa to Adolf Hitler, priests to factory-farmed animals. My mind is filled with joy and peace and shudders from some of these atrocities, because carbon ties me chemically to all of life's history. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the last poem I'm going to share with you. Hey, it's the last poem in this book. Last poem in the book I'm sharing with you from this book, Lockdown's Over, from the Down to Dirt magazine, made August 2021, from Scars Publications, Scars.tv. You can learn all about it. This poem is titled Exactly Where She Belonged. Dreams, 2/29/20. Was I near the Antarctic Circle? Was I near Greenland? I don't know. I don't know who I was with, but while on a boat, separated from everyone, I fell over the edge and landed in one of those rubber boat dinghies. I can't remember if it was actually inflatable or not. I want to say it was, but I remember thinking that this was way too flimsy, but at this point it was all I had. This mini boat quickly separated from the larger boat I was on, and I suddenly didn't see anyone or anything anywhere. Just chunks of ice floating at the ocean around me. I knew I was wet from falling into the water, and this boat that I was able to climb into far too gracefully. And I knew that there was ice everywhere in this ocean, but I didn't feel that wet, and I didn't feel cold at all. I just knew I had to find civilization anywhere to help me get back to the world I knew. Among the huge chunks of ice almost stopping this tiny rubber boat from moving, I managed to navigate myself. I didn't have any oars. I can't remember if I used my hands, but I navigated to what looked like a massive block of floating ice. I couldn't see land anywhere, but it actually resembled a harbor, almost a pavilion in the middle of nothingness. I apparently left my boat and went into what looked like a huge room, like a warehouse room, but not really, since it was all on top of the middle of the ice in the middle of the ocean. People were all milling about there like this was one giant bar or some sort, or like they were all just getting together or a convention center. I looked around and I saw a woman who reminded me of a high school acquaintance, a woman I did work with back then and I was friendly with back then, and maybe that was why I felt more comfortable talking to her. She seemed totally relaxed here, like this warehouse room on the ice harbor was exactly where she belonged. And I keep saying that I fell off my boat and I needed to get a hold of the people on the boat so they might find me. And this is when I pulled out my cell phone out of my pocket. Don't ask me why it was still working and it wasn't waterlogged or frozen. And I was looking at it, thinking of texting someone there. And that's when I realized, wait a minute, we don't get reception there. They're not going to get any texts from me. But I had to do something, I thought. So I thought that maybe if I could send a bulk email to everyone I knew on that boat, maybe somehow, someone soon, one of those people, they might actually access email and see my message. I didn't even know the contact information to email the people who ran this boat that we were even on. And so then I tried to think of the name of the people that I was with, and then I tried to remember their email addresses. But my hands were then just so cold, and I was so scared, and I couldn't even type a thing. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was your installment of Down in the Dirt issue collection book. Lockdown's over. I will be around shortly during this 1 to 3 p.m. time slot, which is the normal time slot for this open mic, to share with you poetry from brand new book releases from Scars Publications, like released today. I hope you enjoy them, and I hope everyone's remaining safe, and I hope everyone is being good, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you very, very soon. Thank you all so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.